everyone, I'm Zach with Gabe, and this is a 2006 Corolla. Back here is the fuel pump underneath the seat. The fuel filter is internal within it.
Hey guys, this is Gabe. I'm going to be showing you all the air-related sensors and inputs. So right here you can see the air comes into this inlet, goes all the way through the tube up here, through the air box filter. Here's the mass airflow sensor. It goes down, fed through here. Here's the throttle body. Here is the idle air control valve, and the throttle position sensors on the back of it over here. And yeah, that should be it. On this 2006 Corolla, we have a 1.8 inline-4 engine, and we have a SFI system, so sequential fuel injection, which means that we have an injector for every cylinder. And the same thing with the distributor ignition system. We have a distributor-less system, which means we don't have a distributor. And we have a coil for each cylinder instead of one distributor setting the spark signal to all the spark plugs.
So here we have the fuel pump relay, and that goes into this 20 amp fuse here. This is the PCM fuse, as well as this 30 amp here is also a PCM fuse.
So our diagnostic link connector is in the driver's footwell, right by the hood latch release, right there.
It's hard to see most of our sensors because they're underneath this intake manifold back behind it. But down here you can see the oil pressure sender. And then back here you can see our top O2 sensor.
Our PCM in this vehicle is behind the glove box normally, but since this is an SIU lab vehicle, it is kind of dangling under the glove box there. So on this engine, I'm going to list where a couple of our sensors are. You can see this gray connector right there. That is our camshaft position sensor. Down back there, that other gray connector right there, that is our ECT sensor, engine coolant temperature sensor. And it might be hard to see, but down here behind the intake, there's a little black connector, and that should be our crankshaft position sensor down there.
Unfortunately, we can't get to the knock sensor. It's right behind the intake, up here in the top. Here you can see the throttle pedal position sensor on the actual assembly for the throttle pedal. So here you can see some of the current codes we have. There's a cylinder 2 misfire, a PO302, and then ignition coil A, ignition coil B, and you keep going down. Ignition coil C and ignition coil D. And then there's pending codes for another PO302.
Yeah, those are our codes. We think that these codes for the coils are actually from the previous test from a different lab. So those coils are actually probably okay, but those codes were just thrown from a previous test.
Here you can see the mass airflow, and then in a second, Gabe's gonna unplug it. And as soon as he unplugged it, it died, but you can see it immediately dropped down. Here you can see the MAF is unplugged. You can probably hear it's running terribly. And then when Gabe goes ahead and plugs it back in, see, we go ahead and get a reading again. Sorry, it's shaky, the car's shaking me. And you see the car goes back to idling a whole lot better, as well as our readings come back.
Ready? So 14 volts at that pin. .08 volts at that pin. 0.08 at that pin as well. 5 volts at that pin. And 0.1 volts at that pin.